Good evening. Welcome back to another live stream with myself and drumroll Glen.
Hello,
How are you
how are
doing?
you?
I'm good. You all right?
I'm all right, Tom. Thank you.
Good. I wanted
Yeah.
to give a shout out. We've got some early viewers. We've got
Hey,
Jeremy
Red.
here.
Jeremy Carr. Hey.
I'm gonna dump saying Jeremy's surname now. So not
Oh,
going to carry
okay.
on saying Jeremy Cole. We'll just go Jeremy because he's been here long enough now. We're all friends. So
So Jeremy is priority. He is just Jeremy. If we have another Jeremy, they've got to be Jeremy Smith or whatever.
yeah. I don't
2.0.
think Jeremy Smith's on the stream though.
No. Well, just in case he joins.
And
Might do.
also, good afternoon, evening to Anthony. Good to see you here again. And yeah, on with the show. So today I'm just going to kick it straight off into our thing. I've put on here, it was a very quick title, Viewing Habits Changed for the Worse. Now, yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot about recently was how we used to view movies or how regular we used to view movies and watched whatever we want. And as times moved on, as things change, our viewing habits change, and there are a few factors to this. And I want to go into them and see what you guys think, and if you have the same, not problems. I don't think they're problems, but same challenges with your movie viewing habits. So I've got a few little things just to mention on here because there's things that stop me from viewing and things that, prove difficult. And before I kick off onto the first part of it, I would say hello to John as well. Good
Hey,
evening, John, or John Robinson, if you like. We're using first names now, John.
Yeah, he's just John.
Yeah.
He's Robbo. That's who he is.
So the first viewing habit I kind of wanted to jump into was how we watch. It's changed so much over the years, and a lot of us have become so reliant on phones, tablets, and what have you. It's completely changed the way we watch films. I love nothing more than sitting down in front of my TV to watch a movie, and it fills me with not anxiety, but wonderment at how people can watch films on their phones and tablets. Are you someone that sort of does this? Can you watch a film on any other thing than
No.
your TV?
TV and that's it. I can't be doing with somebody who I can't remember who it was. I remember when Fall first came out, the film where they climb up that tower and what have you. Somebody had put it on TikTok in about 20 parts.
Yeah.
And this person sat and watched it on their phone on TikTok in those 20 parts. And I just think, how are you getting the best out of that film? How are you enjoying that in any way, shape, or form? No, for me, it's cinema or TV. Has to be.
You mentioned that for TikTok. I've seen 2 or 3 movies now get leaked on Twitter in their entirety, and people must be watching these films through Twitter on their phones, and it amazes me because I use my iPad to watch some movies, and it's normally when I'm working away, I'll rely on the iPad to watch films. But there's been so many times I've put a movie on. It couldn't be a movie I've seen before or one that I'm looking forward to, and I'll literally be 2 minutes in and think, I can't watch a movie. I can't watch this movie on the iPad, and I'm really picky at which movies I'll actually watch on the iPad as well. And it's to my own detriment a lot of the time as well, because I'll just completely miss a movie thinking I want to watch it on a bigger screen. I want to watch it properly. And it bothers me that I have to watch some films on the iPad. I mean, sometimes it's great for audio because with some headphones, you do get that nice sound mix still through the iPad and things like that. But having a small screen, it's terrible for me. I can't do it. I struggle to watch trailers on my phone. I'll do it, but if it's a film I'm looking forward to, I'll actually wait and watch it on TV, and that's just a 2-minute trailer. Are you similar in any ways for that?
I'd be more likely to, if I was going to watch something on my iPad, I think it'd be something that I've watched before. It probably wouldn't be the first time I'd seen something. That is the way I'd watch it. As for trailers, I will watch it on my phone if I'm at work. But then as soon as I get home, if it's something I want to rewatch, I'll pop it on YouTube on the TV and watch it
Yeah,
in better quality, bigger picture.
that's it.
And it's just.
I mean,
how it should
everyone.
be.
I've seen a lot of memes and things like that to do with what Christopher Nolan wants from the viewing experience for people seeing his films, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I've got Oppenheimer on the way that Christopher Nolan would have loved to see it," and it was like on a Game Boy Advance and all jammed in and stuff like that. And
I
the
saw
memes,
one where it was a novelty Shrek portable television
yeah,
that must have had like a 12-inch screen or something.
it's dreadful.
The way the director wanted it to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's. I mean, I struggle now. I've got used to a TV size at home, and I really don't think I could go to a smaller screen just to view movies at home either. It's and they've got bigger and bigger. I was once happy with sort of a 32-inch CRT TV, and now anything sort of lower than 50, and I'm like, I don't want to watch a movie on that.
Or just sit really closely to it.
Yeah, yeah. Jeremy's jumped in. TV only to watch movies and series. Only thing on the go is YouTube, which is generally what I try and keep to as well. But as I say, sometimes I have to become reliant on the iPad if I'm away from home. But very often I will stop and start a movie because I don't think it needs to be watched on an iPad. No chance. And Big Jace is joining us as well. Evening, Jace. Hope you are well. Apology accepted for your late arrival.
Like a minute in, I wouldn't worry about it.
No.
Hopefully it's going to get better.
John, I agree with Jeremy. YouTube is the only thing I watch on mobile device.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I don't think I've even got Netflix or Prime on my phone. You've recently changed your phone, haven't you? And you've stripped a load of apps away that you don't use, such as Netflix and what have you.
Yeah. But to be fair, one thing I have missed with having the Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney and things on my phone is when I'm looking for something to watch, I find it easier to scroll on my phone to find something into the device to actually watch it.
Yeah. It's much more immediate.
Yeah, I do miss the app for just being able to scroll through. I'm just going to skip a comment just for a second. I'm going to come back to it in a moment because just want to throw out Jace. The only you watch on TV is YouTube. Sorry, I didn't read that properly before I threw it up. John, the only you watch on TV is YouTube. Not quite sure if there was a spelling mistake there. Anyway, let me come back to LP because I think this is going to be a little can of worms that is opening up here because I'm sure there will be a few comments before I move on to the next viewing habit. LP, I have decided today to sell my collection and go digital. The stress is not worth it. Right. So how do we unpack that? LP, where do you find your stress in collecting? Is it the
limited editions and steelbooks and
I think
all of that, or
I think this could be a can of worms. As you've seen from my videos, I found a lot of stress in collecting as well, purely because of the just sheer volume. I was losing track, I was losing space, I was losing my mind with it. Basically, it was just becoming all overwhelming for me. And I've also been probably using digital a lot more than I previously was. So, and I found a certain ease in digital. And although a lot of physical owners will bark on about you not owning it and the changes that they can make and things like that, I've found a certain amount of ease and less pressure with having the digital options. I don't know if you find anything similar. Do you get stressed with your collection, Glen?
No, not anymore. As the regular viewer will know, I cut my collection down massively because it was just getting out of hand, really ridiculous. Much like LP, though, at one point, I thought, because you always had iTunes and you always had films on digital, and I hadn't at all. And then as soon as I started doing it, I thought, oh, maybe this is the way forward. You don't have to worry about shelving or anything like that. You've got this little box. You just press it on and you scroll through or what you want to watch. And then, oh God, I hate you sometimes. And then I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah.
The digital options.
Digital options. Yeah, then I went all paranoid that it was kind of you're buying a title. But are you actually buying a title? What you're doing is buying the right to access that title off their servers when you want to watch it. You never actually own it. It's not a without saying the word physical, it's not physical media. It's unlike this. I'll go in a shop, I can buy it, it's then mine. I can look at it, I can touch it, I can put it on a shelf, I can take it off the shelf. And I got really paranoid that probably more extreme than what you're talking about, where you're saying about them changing things on the film and things like that. Just the fact, what if something dramatic really happened and everything got wiped? And then you've got nothing to show for all the money that you've spent. Whereas that will always be sat there. So I went kind of a little bit paranoid. But yeah, I mean, I have got digital things. And if I'm honest, the ease of use and the laziness that I don't have to remove my arse from the sofa to go and find a title, the fact I can just scroll through and find it immediately is very appealing. But I don't think I want only that.
Yeah, I mean, along with LP, along with you as well, I am massively reducing my collection as well. Personally, I still want to keep a collection. I still want a decent chunk. I'm always going to want a decent chunk, but the ones I own digitally, I'm not so precious about. I'm not worried if they disappear because I know the movies I truly, truly love and care about, I've got them. The digital options have just sort of removed that pressure of having to have it physical, having that option only, in a way, because I was hoarding things for the sake of it. What if I can't get it anywhere else? But now digital has opened up. I can see those titles available all the time. I can see all the options open for me. So I've got less panic about keeping a physical collection than I once did have. So I'm keeping my physical collection to a minimum, but only for the movies that I love, that I will repeat watch. In the past, I've been keeping titles that, I'm going to get watched again, but it's that fear of not being able to have them again that's sort of runs me a little bit. I don't know.
That I certainly have changed, and like I say, I'm much more. I will buy something knowing that it might not be great, or I might, if I don't like it, I'll just be selling it on, and that doesn't. Previously, as we've talked about, you'd go, it was okay, and put it on a shelf.
Yeah.
I don't do that now. If it's okay and I'm probably not going to rewatch it, it's gone or sold.
It's got the suggestion here about getting a drive and ripping discs as well. And I know plenty of people that have started to do that now. More and more, they've got the physical discs, just ripping the movies to the hard drive and just keeping it through Plex or however else, and just streaming it to a device anyway. So they've always got those movies digitally and physically, or digitally or physically. So the options that are there. I want to shout out to Shandy, who's joined us for the live. He's managed to grab a live stream. Normally watches it just after, which is fine, but it's good to have you on the live. Welcome.
And
Jeremy, are we collectors or preservationists? That's the question. I think preservationists, it's a word that's been bandied around a lot recently because of comments from, I think you got Guillermo del Toro and Christopher Nolan pushing physical buying because you're preserving cinema or preserving these films. But I think for the most part, it's collectors. I don't think we're preserving anything. There may be the odd one or two movies that you feel like you're preserving, but the fact of the matter is it's a business for these companies, and if the movie's earning money, they'll keep releasing it. I don't think there's a need to preserve it because they'll keep getting the re-releases over and over and over again. And if it's worth it in that respect, then yeah, I don't think you'll see the back of it. I don't think there's any need for the onus of being preservationists falling on us. It should be down to the studios to preserve a film. It's down to us to collect them and keep hold of them and hoard them. But yeah, for the preservation, it should be on the studios rather than the consumer, in my eyes. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree, to be honest. It was very eloquently put across.
Thank you.
You know, it was eloquently put across.
Yeah. Shandy just jumps in. I've not read through it. Let's have a look. Titles don't always stay on streaming platforms, and buying them digitally, you only own temporary license for access to it. Thing is, if the internet goes down, a lot of people are screwed.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's why I'm more careful with the titles that I do get rid of and do keep. Personally, LP, there we go, we're back again. I've backed up discs to a NAS drive, but biggest issue is having movies in my collection. I end up watching them too much. I'd rather forget the movies I love and hopefully revisit later. And that's the problem I had with hoarding, is that I had that much that the movies that I lost kind of got buried. And it was like looking for a needle in a haystack, remembering which ones I love among the piles of other crap.
Yeah, this was it. I said to you a couple of weeks ago, I could kind of we'd sit down and go, "Oh, should we watch a film?" "Oh, yeah, great." And at that time, all of my films were kept upstairs, and I'd go upstairs and I'd disappear for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whilst I tried to find various different things and put together a pile of might watch, it was ridiculous. It was too much. Like we've always, you know, we keep saying the term quality over quantity, but I think that's kind of where what we're both living by now, collection wise.
Trying.
As a matter of interest, have you ever, with you saying about buying a lot of films, have you ever accidentally bought a film and you've already got it?
Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did it. Like hat, mind you, that was a duplicate. I just forgot to cancel the other order, but yeah, I have done it in the past where I bought something and completely forgot I already had it.
Right, okay.
I can't think of a specific example, but yeah, I most definitely have.
Again, was it Debbie Does Dallas?
No, I've got the sequel. I did that right.
Debbie Does Dusseldorf.
Debbie Does Dallas again.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
She's still not left.
Absolutely. Consumer Mia, more of a preservationist. My only films I care about usually buy the highest quality version of that film, which I concur.
This is it. I think we've all kind of done that. We've all, when it was VHS, we said, well, we'll keep certain films on VHS, but then we'll just upgrade things that we love to DVD. And then over time, we gradually buy all DVDs. And then we've done it again with Blu-rays. And then no doubt a lot of us are doing it again with 4K. And I say a lot of us, I know I'm doing it again. Just rebuying. But I like, you know, if it's something I love, but then will it become the standard? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's all right saying, well, I'll keep these on blue and I'll just upgrade the ones I love to 4K. But then you see something that's on offer on 4K and you think, oh, it's really cheap. Oh, I'll go for that as well. Before you know it, you're starting to kind of replace all of your collection.
Yeah.
You know, I think though, there's a lot of things that you've been hesitant over and you think, well, I'm not sure whether I'll like it or not. And then you've bought it digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's obviously 9 times out of 10, it seems to be the cheapest option, really. Which is obvious, you know, they can keep their costs down by just putting it out there for $7.99 or whatever when you're paying $15 for physical.
Yeah.
So you take that chance and you spend $7.99 on a film, but then blind buying, if you don't like it, that's it, you're stuck with it then.
Yeah, unless you hide it.
Yeah.
You can hide it.
You can't kind of do some sort of digital swapping system with somebody else, you know, some sort of membership, some sort of network where you can trade digital movies or something.
Yeah. I've done it before in the past with, especially when things aren't released in the UK. There's been a couple of titles that I managed to get on my US iTunes account that I think I paid $5 for. I think one of them was the Skarsgård flick, Villains. I think I picked it up for like $5, and I was able to watch it. And I'm glad I watched it. I don't see the problem with the film. I don't want it in my collection particularly, but I spent $5 on the digital copy of it. If I'd have imported that physically, then it'd have cost me sort of 25 quid. So the digital options in that kind of worked well for me.
And because that was so low, that's no more than you would have paid if you rented it somewhere.
No, I'm just trying to move my camera because I'm quite aware that the sunshine is coming through and I'm getting some glare.
Glary, isn't it? Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
I just jumping back to the comments because I want to say, hey, to Bristolian Dave.
Hey!
Someone say hoarding. Good time for him to arrive. Now, if anyone hasn't checked out Dave's channel, check it out because he's got one of the biggest collections that I've seen in a background. It's bigger than your collection, I think, Glen. Just for if I'm right, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but on your videos you have a lot of the TV shows behind you rather than the movies. I don't think I've seen the entire collection, but there's a huge amount. I'm not going to say hoarder, but you're a crazy son of a bitch.
Collector in capital letters.
Yes.
Yeah.
LP, the Apple quality is so good these days. So on my old age, is it good for me? If I was on my 3. Not quite sure. The Apple quality is.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll go with the first half of that because, the Apple quality is very, very good, I think. Yeah. To the point where, honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell between that and actual physical 4K.
Yeah. I struggle with my eyes, and clearly, I struggle to see the difference, really. And I've noticed as well, using the Apple TV box over the native apps on the TV and the Roku streaming sticks, that the quality is so much better on the Apple box than it is on the other options as well. I've definitely noticed an uptick on brightness and sharpness using that. I think it's great. I'm a big fan. Grasimir, I'd also say now is probably the best time to start your film library. So much choice in film, excellent quality, and for low cost compared to the past. It is a lot cheaper now, and you can pick up some real bargains if you don't already own them. I think. Lynn's pointed out, Glenn, that you've got a muffling noise from your microphone.
Okay, excellent. That's good.
So apologies for the sound for anyone else that's listening. I'll slap Glenn upside his head till he can sort that out or figure it out.
Annoying because this is a new little camera thing that's got a mic attached to it and stuff, but there we go.
Anthony jumps in. If I lose all the movies on the streaming service site, at least I have peace of mind knowing that it's there on physical. I see.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Dave just jumped back. Quality over quantity is subjective. I've got so many movies people think are rubbish, but I still love. And so have we all.
Edited. Well edited. Yeah.
We've gone over some bad movies in the past, and I think we've all got our guilty pleasures.
And, it's probably a good time to bring up again. We have been talking about a Howard the Duck watch along, haven't we? So
I've got a slide made up for that in a moment.
You have, yeah. You showed me.
Dave thinks he's got about 8,000 titles, but it's organised, so it's not hoarding.
It's organised. How do you organise 8,000 titles? Genres or alphabetized, or how do you do it?
A to Z. It's got to be A to Z. Right. I'm going to pop back to the comments in a moment. So I'm going to jump back to topic in a minute, which was viewing habits. That was it. I lost my train of thought then completely. So one of the things I'm finding with my viewing habits, with how much they've changed over the years, watching for the audience and time limitations. Now, this is from personal experience that maybe some of you can relate to, but I've got 2 kids, and it massively changes what I can watch and what I do watch. Obviously, there's not much I can watch in the daytime with 2 young kids. They're aged 6 and 9, so I have to be careful what I put on. And in the evenings, if I'm not too tired, I might be able to get a movie in, but I've got to be careful and keep an ear out in case they get up. So it greatly limits the not only what I can watch, but the amount. I just can't get enough films in the daytime, and in the evenings, if I have enough energy to stop up for a film, I can probably manage one. I don't know if anyone else struggles with things as they've got older to what they can watch or any other limitations with time and also audience in terms of kids.
I mean,
Or is it just me, man? I don't know if I can speak to you about this. I don't know if you've got any experiences older.
Child free, so I can watch what I want when I want. How many times do we have a conversation where you'll go, I'll say, are you watching a film tonight? And you go, I think I'm contemplating this, and I've still not watched this, and I've not seen this. And then I'll speak to you the following day, and you'll go for something that sounds and looks so mediocre. But you go, I was tired, and it was 88 minutes, so I thought I'll squeeze it in. And it does limit what you watch from a tiredness aspect as well. I mean, I spoke to you last night. You'd started watching a TV show.
Yeah.
You'd only got like 10 minutes into it, and one of your sons had got up with a sore throat and coughing and bits and bobs. And straight away, the pause button comes into play.
Exactly. And I did last night. I did want to watch a movie, but it came to the point I was just exhausted and brain wasn't working. It's like, I'll tell you what, let's just throw on some procedural TV show that's easy to follow. I can't be bothered to concentrate on a film, so it dropped back to a TV show because I'm just bloody exhausted. So not only not being able to watch certain films in the daytime, but then when it comes to the evening, being that exhausted from whatever's happened through the day, that you just haven't got the mental capacity to want to watch anything. And again, it's probably partially down to me because I do like to give certain movies my full attention.
Oh yeah,
I could probably pick something a bit more throwaway, but there's some movies that I've just not watched because they're too long and I can't fit them in without risk of falling asleep. And kids, man, the room of viewing.
Yeah, I mean, I can literally just sit down and watch snuff movies or whatever I want through the day.
Exactly.
Fine. That or, daytime TV, which is just as horrific most of the time. But I'm not limited in that respect.
Yes.
What?
Your microphone, man, it's muffling.
Yeah, apparently so. But
what did you think, man?
Well, I'm clearly not, because I've not got any kids. So
yeah, and it kind of leads me into the next thing that's sort of changing my viewing habits as well, which is if you have a partner, the consideration of what others may or may not like. I have a long list of movies that I'd love to watch, and I've also a long list of movies that I know my wife wouldn't love to watch.
And they're very similar, those lists, to be honest. Yeah.
So I keep moving my camera more and more across because I'm getting that glare. So it kind of, because I consider the other person perhaps a little bit too much, it changes what I would watch or when I would watch it. I'm
not sure if that's the correct statement, to be honest.
I don't want to get onto
what they want too much.
Yeah, I don't want to get onto wife bashing, but
literally,
I perhaps consider too much what I think she would enjoy or not, because I know she doesn't like sci-fi films particularly. She doesn't like westerns. There's certain types of horror she doesn't like, and when I'm picking a movie, it's like, I want to watch that, but I know she wouldn't appreciate it. So I'll tell you what, we'll watch this one instead, or I'll give her the choice of these three instead. And I end up the movie that I would really love to watch. I sometimes push it to the side because I don't think the other person would enjoy it. And I don't know if that's me being too considerate with my choices, or if she's just evil and doesn't let me watch what I want.
We start going down a rabbit hole here that I think we need to come out of. Look, this is about collections. This is about physical collections and digital media. this is not a therapy session. It's not the time or the place. I mean, if anybody wants to come in with a comment about what Phil should do, whether he should get a divorce or anything like that, by all means do so.
Yeah, Jeremy's had a happy wife, happy life.
Happy life.
Exactly. You see, Jeremy knows where I'm coming from with this. It's
okay.
Do you ever struggle with that line though? Do you ever perhaps change what you would be viewing in an evening if you're viewing something with your partner or someone else?
No, to be honest, she is. I'll say hi to her because she is watching and has already commented on the microphone. So I'll watch what I say. But actually, she loves films as well. She's really good with any genre, as long as it's good. She's got zero tolerance for something that's mediocre.
Yeah.
But having said that, so have I. It has happened a few times where we've got kind of like 20 minutes, 30 minutes into a film and we've kind of just started looking at each other going, this is just, should we watch something else? And we always seem to be on the same page with things like that. So no, like I say, genre-wise, she'll watch pretty much anything. The one thing Lynn won't do, even though I've just said her name, but she's on there anyway, is rewatch stuff.
Yeah.
If there's a film I love, I can watch it, and then a week later I can probably watch it again or pop it on halfway through and just keep jumping into things and stuff. And she won't do that. She'll kind of almost kind of have to have forgotten so much about it before a rewatch.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, we'll sit down and watch.
There's certain movies that I'm okay. I'll get away with rewatching with my wife as well. There's a select few I can get away with it. If I wanted to throw Matrix on, it's like Bob Hope.
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch The Raid again or Ong Bak, then yeah, no chance. I've got to watch that on my own and find time somewhere to try and watch it on my own. It's it very much affects what I view and when I view it. Considering
I know you were watching when you were watching some procedural TV show thing the other day, and it was like a 3-episode.
Yeah, 911.
Something happened in each 3 episodes that your wife is really paranoid about or scared of or something.
Yeah.
It was one after the other. Wasn't one you're going on a cruise ship or something, and terrorists took over a cruise ship on that show?
And it capsized.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the episode before, I think another fear she has is planes just randomly dropping out of the sky. Not when she's on them, when she's on the ground. If there's a plane flying over, she's got some paranoia that the plane's going to come plummeting down just randomly out of nowhere. And the first episode was a plane that dropped out of the sky. So yeah, there was quite a fun couple of episodes for her to.
And landed on the cruise ship, which is what capsized the cruise ship.
No, that was unrelated.
That'd have been even better.
Kind of.
Missed a trick there.
Big Jace, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
I've got a slide for you in a moment, Big Jace. I've got slides.
Yeah, you'll be happy in a moment, Big Jace.
Yeah. LP. Being in my 40s, I find I want to watch new stuff, even if it's bad. I'm turning into a one-time watch guy.
I'm turning into a real old fart where I go, they don't make films like they used to.
Yeah.
I'm going that way with music as well, which is a little concerning. But yeah, almost. We've talked about me being a horror fan and what have you, and Blumhouse or Blumhouse, however you want to say it. When they started doing stuff, they were the new great kind of production company, and they made some half decent stuff. And now they just make absolute trash, and I can't remember where the point was going with this at all. That was it. So I'll kind of like start watching one of theirs, and I just think, I'm going off on a tangent here, so I'll go back actually. So I'll start watching something, and I think, this is rubbish. I'd sooner watch something that I know is good from 5-10 years ago and rewatch that. What I was going to say then was, the tangent bit is, when did horror stop being an 18 certificate and suddenly just be 15 all the time?
Yeah.
As soon as I see a trailer for a film and I think, that looks good, that looks gory or scary or whatever, And then when it's about to be released, suddenly it's got a 15 certificate, and you just think, they've toned it down somewhere.
Yeah, it is. Something's missing somewhere with them. Definitely.
Yeah. I went off on a little rant, but there we go.
Yeah, I forgot what the topic was. Yeah, the one-time watch thing. There's still movies that I would go back and rewatch over and over, but nothing recent. The recent movies that I've watched, there's not many of them that I want to go back to at all. Probably 1 or 2 a year, possibly. I mean, it's like Oppenheimer. I saw that at the cinema, and I've no desire to go back and rewatch that. I think
that's one of those. My other half didn't watch it, so I probably would rewatch it fairly soonish if I sat down to watch it with her. But if I wasn't going to do that, it's probably another 4 or 5 years' time before I rewatch something like that.
Yeah.
There's a few films. I mean, I'm saying the last few years, but something like Knives Out, for example. If that's on, I'll just drop in and out of that numerous times. I find things like that a real easy watch. But a lot of the rewatches for me are things like the Scream franchise, to be honest. I'll dip in and out of that and rewatch that quite a lot.
Yeah. Next question here. I'm jealous of people that don't care too much about video because DVD is incredible. Dirt cheap and such a massive choice. You could stock up your library in a week.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think a little bit like we were talking about earlier, kind of watching in the best quality that you possibly can. I find it hard when you start going to a new format and it's HD, or you then go 4K and things like that. Then going back, I really struggle with it. Yeah. It's a bit like when I go around my mum's, and we set up like Sky HD for her, and she'd go round and she'd still be watching everything in standard definition. You're like, what are you doing? How does that not bother you when you know there's a HD version there?
Yeah,
I struggle with it. I've got more and more used to seeing things in a specific kind of, my TV's HDR and things like that, and just the color palette and everything. When you revert back, I really struggle.
To be honest, pretty recently I've been tempted to, I think I mentioned it before, order in a couple of DVDs of movies that I do want to sort of rewatch and things like that. There's no other options out there. And in the past I've been like, I'm not getting that because it's DVD, it's standard definition. But recently I've been thinking, it's like, if I want to see the film, then why not watch it in whatever quality I can get it in, rather than being fussy about it being HD or not. Sure, it might come along HD later on, or 4K, but I'm missing out on the chance to watch it when I fancy watching it, if I'm being precious about the format.
If you had the chance to watch it.
Yeah, if I have the chance to watch it. That's the other thing. That's the other reason that I've not ordered them.
Going back to the subject.
Because my wife won't let them. My wife won't let me watch them. And not really. Although they're not movies I think should appreciate. So, yeah. Anyway, let's have a look what Jeremy's got to say for himself. Viewing habit that's come to me in recent years, watching stuff alone before with friends, family, because they all love to touch their phones or forget to turn down the ringtone. I agree. That's a major annoyance for me as well. I very often, I keep my phone on silent anyway, but during a movie I've got a tendency now just to put it on the side and ignore it for a while. Even when I'm watching TV shows, to some extent, I'll put it on the side and not read it. So I'm sure when you've messaged me, Glenn, you've like been waiting for a reply for how long, and it's because I've been watching something. I've just not looked at my phone.
I mean, don't pick yourself up too much. I get on with my life while I'm waiting for you to reply. I mean, jeez. I mean, we've had a lot of myself and my partner work together, and we've had a lot of work stuff going on and things lately. And it's actually true that's disturbed our viewing a few times. We'll just start something and they go, "Oh, hang on a minute, such and such has messaged," and then before you know it, half an hour's gone. At which point, the other one of us has just started browsing on our phone or whatever. So yeah, Mobile phones, they interrupt things.
Terrible. It kind of takes it back to the first one, not just watching things on our mobile phones, but the distraction of them as well, watching a movie. I've noticed in the cinema, I know that in the past, you are picky what cinema times or days you go on, because you know at certain times of the day or at certain showings, it's going to be full of people that are disrespectful in the way of, you've paid your money, and they sit there on their phones.
Yeah.
And while you're trying to pay attention to film, and yeah.
I mean, we always used to go on a Sunday evening, didn't we? And that could, you'd get funny,
yeah.
funny boy. We'd get disturbed and stuff then. But I have the opportunity to go on like a Monday daytime, sometimes a Tuesday daytime. Unfortunately, they are also really cheap days because it's normally quiet. So you will get people that go that are just not as bothered about sitting and watching the film, don't really care because they've not spent a lot of money on it. And I hate it halfway through a film where suddenly 2-3 rows in front of you, you see the phone light up and what have you. It's so annoying. So annoying.
Playing Candy Crush.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think you have to see a movie, watch it. But
yeah, exactly. Dave, time is the biggest one for me in terms of being split over multiple hobbies. I think that partially for me as well. It's at the minute we're doing YouTube, there's a couple of nights that I could be sat watching a movie that I'm sat trying to edit or learn something to do with YouTube and how to do things. So yeah, time is not on our sides with the full-time jobs, man. It's quit work. Big Jace, the missus watches her soaps. Oh, I'm sorry, Jace. That's gonna be harsh. That's awful. Soaps. Watches soaps during the week, and now our new puppy makes too much noise, so I hardly get a chance to fit in a film. So the default is YouTube videos. Well, good for us that you're with us then, Jace.
Yeah.
I think you've had this problem before, haven't you, Glenn, with pups and dogs, and perhaps not being able to watch certain films because of how they would react to the noises and the noises and bangs, screams, or whatever else.
Yeah, my previous dog, who we sadly lost, was in her later life really scared of certain noises, and beeping seemed to be the real kind of issue. And we used to sit and watch things, and I'd be sat there with my finger on the remote, hovering over the mute button, just in case something kind of happened along those lines, so it didn't kind of upset her and freak her out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do have 2 new puppies now that I'm pleased to say we're now in a routine. So by kind of this time of night, they're settling down and we can actually get stuff watched. But yeah, they're a handful.
Casimir, I try and give and take philosophy. Let her watch what she likes and later watch something that I like. That's fair. I'm going to try that. I think every now and again I probably can get away with more than I try and push for, and I think I just need to push a bit more.
And then you'll be watching something that she's chosen, and you'll be on your phone to me the whole time.
Lynn just wants to point out
what I'm watching.
Lynn watched The Artist twice and Casino Royale.
Yeah. Well, that's because she's very big fans of both films. Not that you've seen The Artist, even though I keep telling you need to.
Jeremy didn't know that you had that you were into a horror, Glenn.
Yeah, all right, Jeremy. Whatever. You can go right off people very quickly.
LP has top OLED TV and DVDs that are mastered right. Look fantastic on it.
Oh, okay. You see, I've got an OLED, but I can't remember the last DVD I watched, if I'm honest.
It might. Do you remember the Superbit DVDs? There's a small range of them, very small range, and they were mastered higher than the normal DVD. I forgot how they're mastered, but they're meant to be a better quality.
I don't know if I did. No.
Yeah.
I can remember I remember the next kind of step from that was when you had Blu-rays, and then you had Blu-ray, but it was 4K mastered.
Yeah.
When actually it was still.
Well, there's VHS tapes out there that are actually high definition, as well. And I forgot what the actual branding was, but yeah, there's some high definition VHS out there that had to use a specific player, I think. Very few and far between, but yeah, they were a thing at one point. But
do you remember the original battle between Blu-ray and HD DVD?
I do. I bought into HD DVD.
Yeah, you did. And off the back of that, I bought into HD DVD, and very quickly I thought, this doesn't feel right. And I jumped ship and went to Blu-ray. What did I go through my PS3 to start with? I think I might have gone that route with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was you with all your HD DVDs. Have you still got any, or have they all gone?
They all got sold. They all got sold then. But Dave was brought up on VHS. Still remember the quality of it. My eyes love DVD. Blu-ray and 4K are more luxurious formats.
Yeah, we were brought up on VHS as well.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this one? Let me just adjust the tracking, see if that sorts it. Yeah.
If something not being on 4K puts someone off watching, they're a format fan, not a movie fan. Yes, I agree, Dave. It's a habit that I need to get out of. I think it's been pushed very much on many social channels. You have to have the biggest, best, brightest thing. If it's not that, it's not worth having, and it's a bad thing to have bought into in the past, really. And I think it took me more down to collecting for the sake of it, collecting for the format more than collecting for the movie. Over the years, I think. It's just
I'd still rather watch something in the best format I possibly can.
Yeah.
Especially with newer stuff where it's shot on digital. I think that's the best way to view it.
Over the years, I've had to be able to adapt to doing things while watching a movie. You've got to make sure it's a movie that doesn't require your full attention, though. Nah.
I mean,
for me, I struggle. If I want to watch a movie, I want to watch the movie.
You've gone from the comment of somebody being a format fan rather than a movie fan because they want to watch it in the best possible way, and then you're putting a film on and not watching it.
Yeah, I will throw a film on and do other things if it's a film I'm familiar with and a film I've seen a couple of times before. But if it's a new movie, generally no. Occasionally, if it's a new movie and it's not got my attention, then I might go and do something else or
go make a brew or something. Yeah.
But yeah, I have to give it a chance first. And he did add that, like right now, he's reading some comic books while listening and typing this message.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we're not that captivated, so I gotta get it.
No full attention. What's going on? Yeah, I think it's easy enough to listen to the podcast and read at the same time. But full on movie.
We've had somebody previous that was watching this whilst watching Big Trouble in Little China as well. So I mean, we know what level we're at. It's okay.
There we go. The Super Bit DVDs, though, are Sony.
Sony, okay.
Yeah. Jeremy. I blew my brother's mind. He's a digital guy. He has tons of hard drives. He wasn't interested in 4K because how much better could it really be? Showed him Reservoir Dogs. I've not seen the 4K of Reservoir Dogs, but I assume from that comment it's pretty good.
I think it's supposed to be pretty crisp, isn't it? I've got it somewhere, but still not watched it. Yeah. Nice little holographic covery front thing.
Nice. Get it watched and let me know, man. That's one I would have there.
I will prioritise it over Howard the Duck and Trancers.
Ace Make 92. Try and watch one a week. Watched Hell and High Water this week, a modern classic.
It is. It's very good, actually, Hell and High Water. I like that a lot.
Yeah, the LP, the OLED black levels and contrast is still great for DVD, Glen.
I will give one. I'm genuinely going to give a DVD a try.
Yeah.
And see what it looks like.
4K is peak. I have more Blu-ray than anything else. This is Jeremy, by the way. However, growing a 4K collection for the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
Yay! Big Jace. Super bit DVDs have a higher bit rate. This just means the file is bigger on the DVD. Most DVD movies didn't use the whole 4.7 gig for the movie, including instead bonus tracks or commentaries.
All right, okay. So did the Super Bit ones, was it just film only rather than any extras because of the space that it took up?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
No features, just the film. Next one, Casimir. Oops, no, not HD DVD. Tell you what, buying into HD DVD now is a good idea. HD films and TV for dirt cheap, 50 pence off. Just stay away from Warner Brothers. They're the ones that they've been suffering disc rot on the HD DVDs. And I don't know if I read about disc rot on some of their Blu-ray as well at some point.
Oh, Warner's?
Yeah, Warner Brothers HD DVDs for disc rot. And it's not exactly, it is, I suppose, a rot, but it's not what you think. It's the glue that holds the layers together. It starts to waste away, and that's what the disc rot is. It's basically the glue that's degrading and causing that, so the disc can't read them and starts coming up with artifacts on screen and things like that.
Right, okay. So it's almost like it's scratched or whatever when you're trying to view it.
When you try and play it, yeah,
Right.
just because it's a bad glue or not glued together properly, from what I understand. Anthony, doesn't matter what format it is as long as it plays perfectly. That's fine with me. Dave didn't say about someone wanting to watch in the best format, so refusing to watch a movie because it's not in the best format.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, Jeremy. If I'm going to put something on in the background while I do stuff, it's usually Big Finish audio dramas. I've not listened to a Finnish audio drama before.
I wonder how many films, going back to what Dave's saying there, I wonder how many films are still only DVD that have never made it to Blu-ray and things. I know there was kind of, there was obviously famous ones like, recently, The Abyss and True Lies. Something like What Lies Beneath, that's still DVD only over here, isn't it?
It is over here, yeah. I think it may have had a
Blu-ray on Disney Plus, isn't there? But I don't.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I think there's a couple of import ones from various places, but I couldn't tell you where. It's not had a proper nice release.
I'm just wondering how many titles in general. I mean, I'm sure there's probably hundreds.
Panic Room as well.
But yeah, exactly.
So there's some great titles in there.
I wonder if there's any that have never kind of made the transition from VHS to DVD.
I bet there are a number. I see a lot of smaller horror films. This is where Arrow and Second Sight are getting their title names from, is these small, lesser-known 80s horror classics that have just been on VHS, just languishing in hell, basically.
In a vault somewhere.
Yeah, there are a few movies that still to move up, I think. I'm trying to think of some names, but nothing that really springs to mind. But, yeah, I know you were waiting for House for quite a while, or you were a fan of House at one point, because I managed to get the VHS for you, and then, eventually along came a Blu-ray. Eventually. We had a fair while to wait.
I do like the first one. The first one's really entertaining, I think.
Yeah. There we go. Jeremy's jumped in with one. David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury TV movie. Only went to DVD, never been upgraded. Jeremy, I don't know if that needs upgrading, man.
Yeah.
Does it need upgrading?
I would think Marvel are very, very careful with making sure things like that just languish and never see the light of day, really.
Hey, Slipknot phone's back, and sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Found a movie recently called Grim Prairie Tales, starring Brad Dourif and James Earl Jones. I think this movie has only ever been released on VHS.
VHS, wow.
Not only a Slipknot fan joining with his first comment, he's dropping some knowledge.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice one, thank you for that. Disc capism. From Denmark, the physical media market here is dying. Some new Danish films no longer get any media release. 99% of Danish films before 2010 will never see Blu-ray, and the DVD is out of print.
Wow.
I wonder if we'll see that over. Mind you, I think the digital is going to carry on even if the physical isn't available, and then you get the bootleggers that just make a fortune off of these things for us collectors that sometimes want the thing on the shelf.
Where did we? I mean, in the States, I know there was was it Best Buy that was stocking physical media and things? Don't hassle the half. It's true.
Yes.
I mean, you can't hassle the half. He brought down the Berlin Wall all on his own. It was brilliant. Oh my God, he's amazing. Yeah, was it Best Buy that stopped stocking physical media?
Best Buy have stopped, and I think Walmart were pulling back quite a bit.
Right. I know that was in the States, but I felt like there was something in Australia as well, wasn't there, where they were kind of stopping production of things as well. It's a real shame. It's a worldwide thing bit by bit.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that somebody's come in from Denmark with that, because not something I'd heard at all.
Yeah, it's the Australia Disney thing that been banded around a lot, but I think Sony have taken over distribution for Disney, so
yeah,
we'll see what changes are ahead for that, if it affects Australia in any way with that, or even Denmark. Jeremy just pointed out Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, which I think is all but buried apart from the bootlegs now, isn't it?
You did have a bootleg of it.
I did at one point. I don't know where it went to.
Yeah, that was.
I did watch it as well. Yeah, it was quite amusing. But still, in Dave, tons of obscure movies that never got up to the DVD. Some horror film titles are worth a pretty penny. Same with DVD to Blu-ray.
What, worth a pretty penny just on VHS because of them never making the transition across?
There's quite a number of VHS collectors out there that will pay the price for these things, and some people actually digitize them and start the bootleg journey there. So it's nice if they can get it and actually digitize and keep it for if it doesn't make it up to DVD and things. It's one where the piracy aspect is quite helpful in a way.
Well, it's a lot of time. It's going to be the only option for people to actually view that movie, isn't it?
Yeah. Dave, there's definitely some movies that don't need an upgrade, like Sharktopus. Never seen it. Spider-Man films starring Nicholas Hammond were only on VHS. I think
Spider-Man growing up.
Yeah, it's things like that. I don't think we'll ever see released as they keep trying to push the new universes and things, and Marvel is still very protective of the IP. A lot of these movies will disappear into movie history, like Hole, unfortunately. The next generation aren't very likely to seek out these titles. True. I think a lot will live on in some way in YouTube over the years as well. I think there'll be the bootlegs and things that just get uploaded to YouTube and just left on there somewhere hidden away for someone to discover. Here we go, Jeremy. Best Buy stopped. Target is online only. Walmart selective in store, but online they've got tons. So it's Target.
I get why companies do it, because they make a lot more money, but without having to produce physical media. But it's a real shame for the collectors.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I was going to say I'm surprised Sharktopus didn't do well when something like Sharknado did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of those kind of crossover movies, wasn't there? And yet Sharknado seemed to really hit at the time for some reason.
That's it. Because a lot of TV shows are not on Blu-ray, just DVD. Another thing outside of film TV is that DVD is freely publishable format, so amateurs can publish their films and crappy exercise videos. Yes. One of my favourite TV shows is DVD only still, and I managed to find that it's been uploaded to YouTube in HD. So I've got my DVD still, and if I want to watch it HD, I just have to jump onto YouTube. So, and it's a lot easier to click as well to view it.
Well, I started buying. I'm a big fan of Inside Number 9, which I can view them on BBC iPlayer, but they started releasing the seasons on Blu-ray, so I started picking them up, and I think it only went to season 3 or season 4, and then since then they've stopped producing the Blu-rays and they're DVD only.
Yeah.
So I've stopped collecting. I know.
Bootleg. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to jump onto another subject now, just while we're here. Just moving on a little bit, because I want to talk about my selling experiences. So, did you watch my latest video, Glenn? Oh,
Yeah.
you're on the spot and you haven't done. Don't make excuses.
No,
Come on.
I have watched. No, well, you know damn well I've watched it because I
I
did
know.
make some comments on it. It's that picture. It's like Patrick Moore, Sky at Night kind of thing. That's all. It throws me out a little bit. Yeah, I did watch it.
Yeah, so you'll know then that I had a few challenges or annoyances with selling on eBay, and
I said to you, you were brutally honest about it.
I was brutally honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check: have I been suffering on my own, or do you suffer, or anyone else suffer with these sorts of challenges when selling on eBay, Facebook, Vinted, or anything like that, where the expectations of a buyer or the silly questions from a buyer are just sent to challenge you, if you like, whether it be cancelling an order, having problems with your packing, wanting combined packaging or anything like that? Do you ever suffer?
Honestly, you seem to be the unluckiest eBayer on the planet, I think. I'll get the odd one where people will ask just maybe a silly question, or you get an offer where, you know, it's so low. You just think, I'd have started it that low down if I was going to be happy with that amount.
Yeah.
But you get constant kind of, I've clicked on that by mistake. Can you cancel my bid, please? It's not just a one-click thing to bid on something on eBay. You click it. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I want to do it. To then actually message you and go, I've done it by accident. No, you haven't at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do dislike it when you know, you list something and you put, well, this is what the postage is going to be. And then that person happens to buy two things which you've not planned for. And then they go, can you send me another invoice for a combined postage? And you just think, well, it's not always that easy. I'll kind of photograph things, list it, and then I package it and put it to one side. So it's ready to go for when it sells. So if somebody then does that, it's a case of destroying that packaging that I've just put everything into and then finding another box or something like that. It's not always that practical. If it is practical, I'll do it. It's not a problem. But it's not always that way. But it's just the expectation of, well, give me money off. I've bought two things.
Yeah.
Well, ask the question before you buy them. And then I'm more likely to go, yeah, that's no problem. It's just the expectation of the person after the event.
Yeah, absolutely. I do struggle. I mean, this is why I've used eBay in the past before, and I use it for chunks of time, and then it just becomes for me such a frustration that I think I just want to break from it. I don't want to carry on selling, and then my hoarding probably starts to get a little bit worse because I can't be bothered to list them and I can't be bothered to sell. I mean, I've got a bag of stuff here that I'm taking CEX because I can't be bothered with the hassle of eBay. I've got a big book, the Thing art book. I want to sell that. But at the minute I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to put it on eBay because I don't want someone to dictate to me how to package my item. And I don't want the hassle because I've had in the past things that I've posted and people are claiming that they haven't arrived. And it's forcing me then I'm then now paying extra for postage to make sure it's tracked, to make sure it's photographed with the person, so I don't get the hassle of someone saying, no, it didn't arrive because I've not posted it with any tracking information.
I always send things tracked. Packaging wise, I even photograph as I'm packaging something. Just on the paranoia that it shows up and they've already got one and it's damaged and they're just wanting to swap it out and they go, oh, you only sent it in a Jiffy envelope, and I can go, haha, no. Here it is, look, bubble wrap, air bubble, cushiony things and stuff, and in another box and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, when they've got like feedback of 3 or something,
Yeah.
and you're at a feedback of 1,500, and they message you and go, can you please wrap it carefully, put it in bubble wrap and then in a box, and then that box within a box, and you think, I've been doing this ages. I know how to package something.
Yeah. Big Jason just added, Facebook Marketplace is the worst. When you're interested in buying something and the seller doesn't bother to reply. I've done that before. I went up and buying things, and some of these items are listed on Marketplace, and you'll get a message saying, oh, is this still available? Yeah, sure. Do you want me to put it on hold for you? And it's just silence. Or they'll come back and say, yeah, I want it. It's like, when can I come and get it? It's like, well, when do you want to come and get it? Oh, I'm not sure. When are you in? It's like, okay, I can do any time over the next 4 days. And they're like, is Friday night okay? And like, yeah, Friday night's fine. And then you waiting, they're not showing up. And it just goes silent and they don't show up. It's terrible. I don't know why they say they're going to come and then just don't appear or don't message and then block you. I don't know if that's my luck or what people are like, but
like I say, you are the unluckiest person I've ever encountered on eBay. Most days you send me a message and it's just a screenshot of something that somebody said, and you've not even responded to it. I know full well, just by you sending that it's something in there that's really aggravated you.
I can't respond straight away because my words they wouldn't be as restrained. I have a tendency to wait till the next day and think, right, think clearly, think properly. How can you phrase it to not come across as
like you've been an arse?
Nasty, yeah. Because if you think eBay buyers are annoying, Facebook is like a wild cesspit. There's a 60-40 rule. 60% of customers are reasonable. 40% of them shouldn't be let out of their house without supervision. I think you are correct.
And they're probably not leaving the house because they're on Facebook.
Dave, next time you should do a car boot sale and bat off all the people trying to buy everything for 20p. Would make great content.
Honestly, we talked about this because over the last year or so, I've sold a massive part of my collection, whether it's kind of figures or posters or statues or some sort of film memorabilia. And we've been to a few of these toy fairs, and I was chatting to a guy at Alfred that's got a shop, and he was there on his stall, and he paid, I think it was £60 for his table. And I said, in hindsight, I wish I'd have just gone along there with loads of tubs of stuff and just in one day just blitz through it. I think I'd have probably made more money than I would with eBay, selling individual things, then having to package it and then pay for postage and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I had done, but
Jeremy has just added. Sorry, I'm adding a bit more light again.
Yeah.
Figures, you say, Glenn. What figures do you collect?
Oh, I've had all sorts of stuff. Randomly, I've actually bought a new figure this week, even though I've been getting rid of things, which I can't really demonstrate. I think I sent you a picture, didn't I? It's almost radioactive. I bought a little Mars Attacks figure that's a glow-in-the-dark one. And I thought, I'll give that. I love Mars Attacks. I love Tim Burton stuff. So I thought I'd go with that. And my God, it almost lights the room up. It glows that much.
It does. It was impressive, even on the photo that you sent me. It was quite impressive for the glow from it.
It was like, I can't remember. God, that's bad. What was the name of the nuclear reactor that melted down? Chernobyl. There we go.
Well done. Well done.
Why shouldn't you wear Russian underpants? Because Chernobyl fallout.
No.
There we go.
Anyway, sorry. While we're on eBay selling and stuff like that, I know I've got the pictures because I've done a slide for it. But you've got an item that you've got an item that you're resistant to putting up on eBay because of perhaps the potential issues that you've had with it, because it's so large that you don't know who it's going to attract, or I don't know if you know how to post it even. Why don't you tell us a little more about what you're trying to sell?
What I'm trying to sell is I mean, it sounds like we're trying to pimp our eBay things on this channel, and that is genuinely not what we're doing.
Just pimp it. Get it done with. Just pimp it.
We over the years, I've a very good friend of mine was the manager of a local cinema, and every time like film posters would come in, she'd say, "Oh, do you want such and such?" And I straight away go, "Oh yeah, I'll have it." And I've still got tubes and tubes of posters that will probably never see the light of day, and I shouldn't have picked up in the first place. And on this one occasion, she said, "I've got a Man of Steel banner. Would you like it?" And I went, yeah, of course. Oh, definitely, I'll have that. This banner is 3.5 meters long by 2.5 meters high. Where was I going to put it? Where on earth was that going to go? But as a film fan, film geek, whatever you want to call it, as soon as something like that is offered to you, I just immediately went, "Oh yeah, I'll have that." And it's remained folded up ever since. I mean, where was that going to go, really?
I mean, the thing that makes me laugh as well is that big that you had to take it into.
I had to lie it out in the back garden to take a photo of it. There's not a floor in the house that was big enough that didn't have something in the way. So I had to take it outside.
You could have literally put it on the floor and just got some clear perspex thing and have it as a floor in your office.
Yeah, and just walk on it instead. That's probably the way to go, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can I just say, I didn't ask for you to reach out with offers and stuff. It's currently on eBay. So
it is on eBay. You stuck it on eBay.
It's on eBay. I've got one watcher.
Oh.
So they're probably thinking, who the hell's going to buy this? I'm going to watch just to see if it sells.
Yeah, quite possibly. It's
or they've got a barn conversion or something, and they'll be able to fit it in.
I think you'd have to seek out some kind of movie store to see if they would buy it for display purposes. I don't know if there's many private sellers out there, private buyers out there that would have the space to actually house and display it, unless they're just collecting for collecting's sake.
I'm just hoping it's kind of obviously a Superman fan or maybe a Henry Cavill fan that just doesn't really perhaps understand measurements. I think that's probably the possibility of it selling. And they just kind of go, "Oh my God, I want it." And they'll just buy it and it'll be out of my way.
Nice. Right, I'm going to jump back to comments because Slipknot fan asked something a few minutes ago, which I skipped over for a moment. Do you guys know a horror movie named Headhunter, 1988? Testable. It has one of the most impressive movie posters for a horror. Now, when I first read this, I did think of a movie, but I got the completely wrong one because I was thinking Mindhunters, the Rennie Harlin flick with Christian Slater.
Yeah, well, there is Headhunters as well. That was just Headhunter, was it?
Headhunter from 1988. I have not seen that one.
1988.
There we go. Jeremy's just jumped up as well, just while we're on the Man of Steel, while you're looking for Headhunter. Contact the Superman Museum in America. So there might be a possibility there. I didn't know there was a Superman Museum at all.
Good thinking, Jeremy Carr.
Yeah, you'll have to have a look at that. Google it.
That is quite a cool poster. I don't know if people can see that. That weird goblin-y looking thing.
Oh, you just moved it. I just focused in on you. What are you doing, man?
Sorry. I'm coming back. Can we see that?
Nice.
That's nice. I like
practical effects.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Superman Museum is in the Midwest. Can't remember which state. While we're on here, I'm going to tell you what movie I watched this weekend. Dun, dun, dun. I watched a movie this weekend. I managed to find time to fit one in.
What movie did you watch, Phil? Please tell us.
We watched Trolls Band Together. Yeah. Because we're back to thing of audience and time limitations. I've got the kids, man. We had some time in the daytime and we ended up with the new Trolls movie. And it was exactly what, no, not exactly what you'd expect. It's perhaps Glen. Hello? That's the only movie I've fit in. I didn't even get a chance to try and finish off The Rocketeer with them. We went in with Trolls band together.
That's the kind of nice thing at the minute with where your boys are aged now. There's certain films that you loved that you can start kind of introducing to them.
Yeah.
Such as like The Rocketeer.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is there's still that weird age where you're watching Trolls movie.
To be honest, Bailey wasn't that thrilled by it. I think he enjoyed it, but it's not my favourite movie. I know, Bailey, but you got a little brother as well. Can't forget.
Yeah.
But I'm at the point at the minute when we're considering which older movies to show them. I'm Nat's hair away from trying Arachnophobia.
Really?
I don't know if it's a good idea or not.
That would be a huge mistake.
Do you think?
You talk about kids disturbing you now. You make them watch Arachnophobia and then send them to bed.
Is Arachnophobia not just a PG?
It's a PG, but if are they arachnophobic in any way?
Harper is slightly, yeah.
Right, okay, well, it's a mistake then, isn't it?
It's got John Goodman in it, though.
That's like saying they hate clowns. I want to make them watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space or It. They're going to love it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm not going to show them Poltergeist just yet. But,
no, probably too soon for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait another year or so until they're 10 and 7. That'll be fine.
There has been a good few movies that I've enjoyed that I've tried to show them, and it's just not gelled with them yet. I think they've been too young when I've been trying things. And it's like the Star Wars movies. I've not been able to get them into the Star Wars movies. I showed them John Carter. They were too young to watch that, and it didn't quite gel with them. And there's been a few like that, and I think I've been trying them too early, and I'm just trying to select which ones to try when. So, have you got any kids' films that you remember that you could suggest for around 8 years old? I don't want to go with a Roger Rabbit or anything like that.
There's a guy I chat to in CEX because, like I say, I've traded a lot in there, and I go in there most weeks. Always chat to him. We're probably a similar age, so we've got kind of similar experiences of things we like and what have you. And he was saying about, I can't remember how Clash of the Titans came up in conversation, but he said, I remember trying my kids with Clash of the Titans, and I was going, it's amazing, and there's a flying horse, and there's all sorts of things. And he said they absolutely despised it. And for a few moments, I despised them. And this is the problem. Kids are going to see things today that are just the new thing, and that's their new thing, and that's what they're going to love.
Yeah.
And us kind of going, this is what I loved when I was a kid, isn't always going to wash. It isn't always going to hit, unfortunately.
No, but you say, sorry, you just sparked something off. I was just thinking what Bailey's doing at school is doing a lot about Egyptians and the Egyptian gods and things like that, because he keeps coming back with me with facts about Anubis and the pyramids and whatever else.
Watching the Mummy.
Is it time to watch the Mummy? Yeah. Would that? I know it's got a few choice words in there, but I thought, you know what? It's a fun adventure movie. Would that float? Would the Mummy float as a movie for the kids?
I mean, I still really like the first one. I think it's a really good adventure romp, and then the second one, unfortunately, you've got that whole, all we remember that for is the terrible CGI of The Rock.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I remember of the second one, really.
Oh, it's got a couple of nice moments. I tell you what, the second's got some moments that I think the kids would love. When you got the little pygmy mummies that are chasing them through the jungles, and there's the chase through London and stuff like that. The kids would love that. Yeah. I just can't remember how much of a horror tinge it had and how choicy the language was. I can't quite remember. I don't know whether to risk it.
I mean, you've probably got the odd kind of poo word, and that'll be about it, won't it?
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
I think they were PG, weren't they? The first
now
one?
it's PG off. They might have been up to a
12.
12, 15, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, with it. Dave's added, how about Watership Down?
Oh my God.
No, I don't
You
think
know what? I can't. I don't even know if I watched that as a kid, because I can watch any film where people are getting blown apart, ripped apart, eyes removed, anything like that. As soon as somebody goes, "Oh, I'm going to kill your dog" or something like that, that's it. I can't watch it. That's it. End of story. I can't be doing with anything where it's with animals, but humans, just, destroy them, roll them over with a steamroller. It's fine.
LP, Flight of the
Like the
Navigator.
Navigator.
We've done that. We've done Flight of the Navigator. It's they're okay with it. They weren't thrilled particularly, but I've been tempted to do Clash of the Titans as well while we're on Egyptians and going into gods and things like that. But as we've just been saying about Clash of the Titans and things like that, I don't know how much they'd float. Although I think my eldest, I might be able to talk to him, not through the movie, but talk to him about the making of the movie, because he's quite into the animation and stop motion and things like that. And I think if I can link the two with how they did things in the movie, I think we might be okay. But,
Would you not be okay with things like the Goonies at this point?
We've tried the Goonies, that they didn't quite settle into that story-wise. They've seen bits and bobs of it, and I don't think they quite caught their imagination at the right time. Again, it didn't quite gel with them yet. We'll try again. We will. Stolen Dave, Help I'm a Fish, Land Before Time, and Brave Little Toaster. I think Help I'm a Fish. I think it's been through there. Dave's just thrown another one up that we have that I have tried to push on them. Iron Giant, which again I think that was a bit too early that I tried to push that on them. Page Master, animation into live action. Jeremy, My Grandfather Died, Godzilla stuff. Clash of the Titans, Universal Monster, Albert and Costello, and Halloween 5 at 5 years old. Nice. Casimir, Iron Giant, The Incredibles, definitely the Mummy. There we go.
There we go.
Shin Godzilla, if they can read subtitles. The oldest one can probably read the subtitles, but I think they may be a little bit too quick for him at the moment. But he can read. Just slow. Done that one. Dave, what about Indiana Jones? I don't think we're quite there yet, but we will do soon. Kasim, Mir, Back to the Future. We've done Back to the Future, which was quite a nice success. Didn't expect it. I put it on in the background for me to watch. But
I wouldn't have thought that at all, to be honest, at the rate you're at.
The what?
I wouldn't have thought that would have kind of grabbed them at all, to be honest.
No, I didn't either, but I don't know if it's because I was sat watching it and something about it grabbed them. I can't explain it, especially when certain other things doesn't grab them. And Tron Legacy, that's one I did try recently. With my eldest, he wanted Tron Legacy. We gave him the choice between that and Tomorrowland, and he chose Tron Legacy and sat and watched that all the way through. And got another suggestion from Big Jace. A good family film about a stranded duck from another planet.
If only somebody would make one like that.
Brings me to, I just wanted to do a quick update because I know I haven't gone very far with this, but we did mention doing a watch along for Howard the Duck, and I still want it to happen, but I just want to figure out logistics, how we're going to do it and the timings, because I've not been long with this YouTube journey or live streams really, so I just want to figure out the best way to do it, and I kind of feel like I want to be prepared with some bits of knowledge for it as well. So as soon as things can line up when I can get time enough away from the wife and kids and can match up with Glen's availability as well,
when you can get away from your kids that ruin your viewing, your wife that ruins your viewing because she doesn't like anything you like.
Yeah.
Oh God, your life is terrible, isn't it?
It is.
Bristolian Dave has said, sorry, Jeremy, I'm completely blanking your question. Spy Kids.
Yes.
Did you try that already?
We have, and they've been Sorry, just thinking.
I don't.
We have
You sounded more like a robot.
I'm trying to think what order we did them in. We have watched the Spy Kids movies. I'm pretty sure we've done all of them now. But I don't think they were too keen when I first tried them with it. But then Rodriguez did the We Can Be Heroes movie for Netflix. Then we watched that, and then it dropped back to the Spy Kids movies. And then we went for, I think they did a new Spy Kids movie with Chuck, Zachary Levi in there as well. I think it was a fourth one. So we have been through them, and they've thoroughly enjoyed all the Robert Rodriguez kids movies. So yeah, we even did Shark Girl and Lava Boy, was it?
All the way around.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Sorry. Yeah. Wrong way around. They've even watched that as well. And
Casima's suggested The Thing.
Yeah,
family fun.
We'll get there. We've got Sonic the Hedgehog. They absolutely love that, and I'm just trying to time it out so we can potentially get to the Knuckles TV show at some point that they've put on Paramount Plus. So I don't really want to subscribe to Paramount Plus, but if it times out right on when the kids' holidays and stuff like that, I might get Paramount Plus just so they can burn through Knuckles. I'm not sure there's much else on there for me. And Dave Sky High, I've forced that up on them as well because I enjoyed it, and it's got Bruce Campbell in it. So yeah, I'll push that on them. Kurt Russell and a whole host of other cool names, and it's quite enjoyable. I think Tim Allen did a superhero one which I haven't that I haven't forced on them. I think it was called Zoom. Was it called Zoom? I don't think I've tried to find that for them, but yeah, it's another superhero high school thing, I think, if I remember rightly. Jeremy, 4th of July, Independence Day, National Traitors Day. How Duckstream? Okay. Yes, it was Zoom.
No comment, Jeremy.
It was confirmed. John Robinson, E.T. This is one that I do. It is on. I know I've spoken to you before about it, haven't I, Glenn? That I want to show them ET, but I just want to pick the right time to be able to do it.
Honestly, my other half hasn't watched it, and I've said numerous times it is such a good movie. It really is. It's really, but it's no spoilers, but the part where you think he's dying and stuff like that, and it's just really upsetting, and it's difficult going into a movie knowing there's a sad bit that's probably going to upset you. And I remember getting all emotional at the end and stuff like that. And it's hard to kind of like set aside and go, right, today I want to be upset by something. I'm going to watch E.T.
Yeah.
That's my point.
We all know what's going to come in we all know what's going to come in it, but it's just,
know that the kids are probably going to be upset by it.
Yeah, we've got to time it at a certain point in the day, perhaps at a certain point of the week, and make sure that myself and my wife are there with them as well, just in case they've got questions, just in case they get upset, and then we'll torture them and force them through watching the near death of their beloved character that they fallen in love with.
Yeah,
we will see. We'll see how that goes. I might just stick the camera on and do a live stream so you can all see my kids' hearts get torn off.
Reactions, yeah. Sobbing.
I've thought about doing this for a YouTube video when I've picked select films. Say if I did The Mummy or Arachnophobia and things like that, just trying to film bits and bobs of their reactions and then asking them about the film afterwards and tying it into a bit of a YouTube video. Yeah, how I tortured my kids and how I, you know what I mean? It's.
Feel like you may have your children taken away from you at that point.
I think possibly, yeah.
But it would sort out you being able to watch anything you wanted at any time.
Exactly.
So maybe care is the way forward.
Yes. Jeremy says show them Steel starring Shaq. I'm sure about it. I've not seen it. I've no personal interest, but if you're telling me to, I might try it. If it's free from anywhere, I'm not going to pay for that. Slipknot fan just adding about the watch along to add a digital clock at the side of the screen so people can synchronize the movie perfectly. I'm not sure how to do that because I won't be able to share the video on a screen. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get a clock on screen. So I'm going to have to work at that. I'm going to have to research a little and see what's possible and what's not. I struggle getting the comments on the screen sometimes and doing the banners and things like that. But there we go. Goonies, another one. Jaws, that's another one that's close to being possible. Bailey really likes sharks, so I think Jaws might be okay. It might be. I keep trying to show the kids how they make films and how things are put together, and I've shown them bits and bobs of what I've worked on when I've hurt people on film or I've been hurt on film, and show them what's what because they've seen the picture of me with my guts out and things like that. So I'm hoping tying the realities and the film things together that they can see that, oh, it's for our entertainment, it's okay. I don't need to get really upset about it, I think. Big Jace to this day, I can't watch the last 5 minutes of E.T.
Yeah, breaks me. It's Drew Barrymore every time.
There we go. Jeremy wants Phil's children reacts videos. I might try it, but it might take some time to do. I might have to film bits and bobs for 5 or 6 movies, so I can't just focus on one movie or it's just going to be a dull sort of little thing. I think I'm going to have to do reactions for several and try and tie them together in one video. And
imagine how disappointed you'll be if there's zero reaction from them and they just look at you afterwards and go, what was that? That was terrible.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it though, isn't it? It's like I could be waiting for a reaction and the kids are like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
oh, it's the greatest film ever. You didn't like E.T.?
Yeah. Oh, I'm really annoyed E.T. didn't die. Oh.
Kasimir, don't worry about the emotional roller coaster on kids too much. They're supposed to experience the ups and downs of a story. It will leave a positive impact on them and they'll remember it forever. And that's why I'm not too worried about E.T. because it is, if they can watch it through and get the complete story, I think they'll be okay with it. But it is upsetting, but...
Yeah, I think desensitizing is a good thing, to be honest. Who was it earlier said they watched like Halloween when they were 5 and what have you? I watched like Nightmare on Elm Street when I was quite young. And I think the more you're kind of exposed to these things, if you're kind of overly protected from stuff, I think it becomes a bigger thing than actually, like you said, if you're breaking it down and going, making sure they realise it's only a film.
Jeremy's just suggested Lord of the Rings Extended. Jeremy, I've shown Lord of the Rings Extended. We've done it, and I forgot some of the content on there. So when the is it the orcs that are loading the beheaded heads of their victims into the catapults and flinging them over the castle walls, I sat there and I was thinking, I've made a mistake. I've made a dreadful mistake, but they really enjoyed it. They loved it all the way through, and I think I could get away with showing it them again. But there's just few choice moments that I'd be a little worried about now remembering. But they've seen it, so they can get through it again, I'm sure.
I think it's only a mistake if they're coming at you with a knife, going, "Daddy, can we cut your head off and throw it over the wall?" Then it's a problem. But other than that, I think you're okay.
Yeah, Big Jace, Mighty Joe Young. I forgot about that. Good shout. Good shout on that. Cool Runnings. I'm not sure if the wife has forced that upon them yet. I think it's one that my wife kind of likes, so she may have forced that upon them at some point. LP, Never Ending Story. That's
that's upsetting as well.
Yeah, that's another one that's not the greatest.
When he's hauled in the quicksand. Oh my god.
Quick competition. Who can name the horse in Never Ending Story?
I want to say it was Atreyu.
Wasn't that the boy's name?
Was it? Was he Atreyu? I thought the horse was Atreyu.
Was it Artax?
Oh, it might have been, actually.
Yeah. Anthony, I can picture little kids screaming bloody murder while watching some films with scary themes. We'll see. That's Phil's Kids React videos. It could work.
Wasn't the name you just said, wasn't that the kind of white flying dog looking thing?
That, oh no. I can't remember. Big Jason's going with Uncle Buck or anything John Candy.
I'm googling.
Jeremy's just mentioned there's one YouTuber that does toy reviews, comparisons of old versus new Transformers figures, gets his kids to occasionally react to the quality and looks at the proportion of the figures. It's quite humorous.
The horse was called Artax. You are right. Atreyu was the boy, yeah.
Yeah, Dave, why are all kids' movies so sad? Yeah, there we go. Falcor.
They've got to desensitize you ready for life.
Yeah. Falcor was
that was the big white fluffy, yeah.
Big Jason Never Ending Story, too trippy for me. That flying cat thing did his head in.
I'd have loved that to have been a review at the time.
The
flying cat did my head in.
I remember watching Aragon beheading alerts when I was 6, and I'm fine. I've only beheaded myself 2 people so far. Fair, only 2.
Only 2. I mean, you can't really. That's just practice.
Yeah. Dano Trooper, that catapult scene is also in the theatrical version, so you couldn't get away with it even if you wanted to. They'll be fine. They've seen it once. What's another time? RoboCop next. I've actually got my wife left me in charge of the kids overnight. She went out somewhere and she messaged me to say,
"Oh my God, she's horrible. She doesn't even look after her own children." This is awful.
She messaged, "How are the kids getting on?" It's like they're fine. They're watching a movie, and I literally took a picture of them seated in their little chairs with the TV screen in the background, and I got them to sit there. It was all posed, and I'd actually started. I did it 2 movies, Aliens and RoboCops. So they've got the title card there, and their little heads with the snacks ready to watch film. It's like, oh, they're fine. They're just watching a movie. RoboCop. I'll have to find the photos and pop them up on Patreon or something for people to see. It's just the back of the kids' heads. I'll be fine sharing that. Jeremy, Disney doesn't like stepmothers. Pornhub takes a different approach. Absolutely. And on that note, I think we've overrun a little bit again.
I mean, just the fact we've trailed into porn, I think, is probably the
Let's wrap it up. Yes. So I'm going to wrap us up there. And I know we've drifted off onto different subjects and things like that, but I hope you've enjoyed the topics. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Glen, for joining me once again. And if anyone's got any suggestions for any topics and things like that for the future, dump them in comments, pop them on Patreon, DM me somehow. I don't know, however you choose. But for now, I'll say good night. Thank you all for joining us. And until next time, take care.
Bye.